Hello YouTube, I'm Ben Lucas, and today we're going to take a look at some of my more fantastical shoots and how all of the effects that you see were actually done all in camera. Take a look. Alright, welcome to my Galactic Pinups Calendar shoot. Today we're looking at 4 different photos that I've done. So we're going to kind of take a look through the Photoshop files. I'm going to show you what the original photo started with and kind of how I built up, and I'll talk about some of the behind the scenes and lighting as well, but I want to show you what goes into a professional photo, both on set, kind of how I set it up, the creation of it, and then all of the Photoshop process of it. If you love these photos, I have some calendars available. Go to galacticpinups.com. There's a link down in the description. Get your calendar this weekend only, since it is Black Friday. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. They are 50% off. That is the only sale that will be on it this good, at least until next year. So get those calendars while you can. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this useful, give it a like, subscribe, and now, without further ado, let's dig into these photos. So the first one that I have here, I have a stormtrooper on a Wampa rug, because what else says Christmas? So let's take a look at our original photo. So there is the original, and then when you add my effects onto it, there it is. So a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of lighting effects, but mostly all done in camera. So how I did this, I believe I had 3 or 4 different lights. There was that video will be going up shortly as well, the behind the scenes. But there is a big light to get all the light here on his shin. There is another one to get the kicker on this side, and then of course a light to get the even spread, and this nice highlight on the blaster and the holster there. So let's turn these off and kind of show you what's up. So this is the original out of camera photo. I did a quick perspective change. First of all, I cleaned up some stuff, so there's like an outlet right there I didn't want. This light is actually helping light up this area back behind the tree that was getting way too dark. And then of course I cleaned up the can light in the ceiling. And then this, I merged that all together and did a perspective shift, so the house doesn't look like it's falling down. This archway right here, everything's nice and straight. And then another little cleanup, some of the things that were bugging me. You can see just the thing on the edge. Pay attention to your edges of your photo, very important. But so we have original and then cleaned up with a slight perspective shift. And then here are all of the adjustments that make the magic. I'm going to go through those so you can see them one by one. So we've got a nice kind of effect that brings warmth into it. Dodging, bringing up some of those highlight areas that I want on his armor. Burning, bringing more contrast into the armor and giving a nice little vignette around it. This is kind of evening out this corner here. We got give the tree a nice healthy glow. It's very, very difficult to get any of the lights on the tree to show up, especially when you're shooting with flash. So that's just helping me balance it just a little bit. And then bringing a little bit more into that corner so the vignette in this corner matches this one. And then to finish it off, we have some additional sharpening. So there is everything step A to B with this wonderful stormtrooper on a Wampa rug. And now let's take a look at our second photo for today. So, Flashdance Chewbacca, who doesn't love it? All right, let's take a look at the original. There's the original, and there is everything else. Okay, so here is my original. This one just kind of I'm getting too much light down on the bottom plywood here. Oh, and yeah, this is all real. So this is plywood. This back is just a blue tarp that I set up. I have one light shining directly through it, so you can see this one. And then I have more lights poking into the corner of this tarp setup, and I built a rain machine. If you go to my Facebook, I believe there are photos of it on there. So here is a nice darkening vignette. A little bit more with a slightly different focus area. This one here is kind of bringing everything down nice and moody, but bumping some of those highlights, giving a little more saturation as well. This one is just bumping some of the highlights in his face, drawing you a little more to it. This is bringing out all of the detail in this fur here, all of that loveliness. And this is kind of the finish crushing. All personal preference. I like having crushed blacks. I like having dark and moody photos, especially when you're looking at the Flashdance source material. This matches it a lot better, I think. Okay, and now I have some finished lighting effects. So I wanted it to look like stage spotlight. And adding in these finished lighting effects is really what does it. What I did was I took a picture of another stage light, put it on overlay, and then just painted it in. So there we have our lights, and finally some sharpening just to bring out that extra detail in the fur. So there is the Chewbacca Flashdance, which this is November in the Galactic Pinups Calendar. Go get yours now. Okay, now we have Vader and one of his sand troopers hanging out at a barbecue. Whoopsies. Let's pull that back. There we go. So, let's deconstruct this one here. So, our base photo, this is the original photo, all done in camera. When I first posted this on Reddit, I got so many cries of boo, bad Photoshop, fake sky. No, that's what it looks like. You can get lucky. You can also be very talented and know how to set this up. So I have a huge light over here aiming at this. I've got another huge reflector just off screen here, lighting up Vader's face here. And I might have one more boomed out. Otherwise, this might be sun. I forget exactly how many. I'd have to go look at the behind-the-scenes footage for that. And then I shot all of these hot dog and bun elements. We actually grilled this one here. I shot all of that here on this day in this light, so these would match exactly. I turned them so I could get a bunch of different angles. I shot so many of them, and then went through, picked the ones I liked. This guy here, stock footage of some fire into that barbecue pit. Another one there. And this one here is one that I did not end up using, apparently. So there are the rest of them, but I will show you that. So let's actually zoom in on this area. So like I said, I shot them there all on set. So this was shot right here in this light, exact same lighting setup on the blue screen, and then I went and cut it out. Doing all of your own composite stuff, not relying on stock photos, not having to pull from other light sources, you're going to get a lot more realistic. But everybody cried foul of this one on Reddit. They didn't like the floating. Well, it's Darth Vader. He's using the Force. What are you going to do? But there is the barbecue pit. And then we've got some adjustments here just to kind of even out everything on my models here that I wanted. So a little bit of vibrancy change, kind of bringing up some of those colors. This one is bringing up all of the shadows, so you're paying attention a little more to the foreground character here. Evening out that farmer's tan just a little bit. And then a little sculpting of those guns. This is actually my Ben Swallow, for those of you that have seen that photo as well. So he is very toned, but this front reflector that's bringing out all of the details in the Vader mask here is also flattening out all of the details in his muscles. So I wanted to bring those back. So I drew them in with a darkened curves adjustment and then a little bit of sharpening just to finish it off. All right, let's take a look at our last photo. Here is Ben Swallow. Like I said, he's very fit all on his own. So here is the original photo, straight out of camera. So not too much trickery or fakery here. So what I had to do for this one, there is a light on the stairs, which is on very low power, but that is just bringing out some of the lights here on his arm and this side of his chest. There is, undo that. There is another light that is set up in the stairwell, very, very high, aimed down, so we can get all of this dramatic sculpture on this man. And then he is next to a slatted window. So I put a light outside, shooting beams through that slatted window, just a harsh light to try and get all of this detail and musculature. And I also have a tip on how to best do that using this model. There will be a video of that coming out very, very soon as well. So here is just my little bit of cleanup. Skin, getting rid of the banister, darkening the saturation on the yellow wall, turning it more gray, and bringing up some more light into his face. So we have all of those pieces. Some more adjustments here. This is just to pump some of the musculature that's already there, make it a little bit more defined in areas where it's not quite as defined. And I really wanted to go for that film noir look, so I'm bumping a lot of contrast into these slat shadows from the window, and then just to finish it off, a little bit of sharpening, bringing out some of that hair detail. So these are the 4 photos from my Galactic Pinup Calendar, from beginning all the way through the Photoshop process to the end, along with some of the lighting tips in there. Thank you so much for watching. If you love these photos and want a calendar of your own, galacticpinups.com. There is a description link in the description. Have a very merry Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you can avoid the crowds like I will doing your holiday shopping. You can do it online. galacticpinups.com. If you want to see the videos where I'm detailing out all the behind the scenes for the Christmas shoot, as well as my tip on how to get people to look more musculature, more ripped, show all of that muscles that they have, be sure to subscribe so you can see those videos in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.